Hello again, Struck Pup. Welcome back to another evening of streaming. Today I'm starting a new hero, and this will be a Dusk Mage with Coldheart as a subclass. I've just uploaded a video for my Drain Train Realmaster. So to those of you who are expecting that video, it's now out there on my channel on YouTube and on my website. In the meantime, let's just jump right in. Dusk Mage Coldheart. It's finally time for a Coldheart, and yeah, someone is already in the stream saying, "Dude, I like your stream. I listen to you while I work. Good to hear that. Thank you for watching my content. It means a lot. It means a lot watching my content. So thank you, Harry. Should I call you Harry? Harry, thank you very much for watching my content. Okay." Enough intro, let's just jump into the game and make that new hero. It is time. Come on, come on. Dusk Mage. Was my last Dusk Mage female or male? I can't remember. Well, let's just make this one... I think the last one was a dude, so let's make this one... What is it gonna be? Coldheart, so maybe some blue hair. Okay, now let's... Alright, let's call it like that. Something simple, something easy. There we go. What's my favorite class and relic? I don't have a favorite class and relic, but on every class and relic I've got favorite ways of building. So I can list some of my favorite ones, but not all, because there's gonna be a lot of time needed to list everything. But in general, I really like I like anything on the Electrode relic. The Electrode relic, regardless of what build I make, it always ends up becoming very fun. I also love summoner builds, regardless what relic. I love summoner builds. Of course, the obvious choice for summoner builds would be the Bane. But yeah, I'm gonna start leveling on normal because it's quicker. It's much quicker leveling on normal, and if you've watched my other streams, you know I prefer to level fast. So yeah. What else do I like? I really enjoy proc monster builds. It could be on the Flaming Destroyer, it could be on the Electrode, but builds that also rely on proccing things, I love those too. What other builds do I like? I honestly like using skills like Explosive Arrow and Onslaught, but Onslaught is such an underwhelming skill because of the range. The range is super shitty on Onslaught, so if they increase the range, I would love any build on that skill as well. But yeah, in general, I've spent the most time playing Dusk Mage. Because at first we only had Dusk Mage and Forged, before they added Trailmaster, and eventually the Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is definitely very nice for the first few levels. When leveling a new hero, Sharpshooter is probably one of the quicker ones you can level with. Okay, there we go. You're saying 4 classes and 5 relics, so 20 combinations. Have you tried every... Yeah, I've tried every combo. You can check my website for builds. I've made builds for every combo, and right now I even have I even started making more than one combo per build, because after I made one build for every combo, I started revisiting those combinations. So for some combos, I already have like 3 combos already, 3 builds. For some, I call them archetypes. I don't call them combos, I call them archetypes. So for some archetypes, I already have like 3 different builds ever since they made the relic a subclass. And it's fun. It's definitely been fun figuring so many builds, and there's so many more builds I wanna try. It's just very slow to level up heroes. It's super slow and super boring in this game to level up outs. And the thing I like doing the most in this game is leveling up outs for new builds. But I don't like it because of the leveling progress, I like it because of the whole tinkering, respecking kind of thing. So I wish they would introduce eventually some sort of system that helps you level up new heroes quicker. Maybe level up one of every class, the regular way, completing the story, but when you have one Dusk Mage, one Forged, one Realm Master and one Sharpshooter leveled up, your next one of that class shouldn't need to do the story. That's how I think it should be. You should be able to make endgame only heroes. I don't see a reason to force people to have to redo the story other than being mean to your player base. There is no other reason for that. You gotta value your players' time, because if you don't, they're gonna leave the game. That's what happens normally. And I'm wondering what's happening with the drop rates. I've gotten very good drop rates, but some people are still reporting very bad drop rates. So are they all playing on single player, like offline? And it's hard to tell, because some people are reporting bad drop rates on console, but others are saying bad drop rates on PC as well. And for me, it got fixed with that patch. I was very unhappy with the drop rates before the patch, but with the patch it's pretty nice, pretty decent for me. So I'm wondering what could be the common thing behind everyone who is reporting still having bad drop rates. There's gotta be something common across all those people. Where's the final? Okay, one here. There's gotta be one here I've missed somewhere. Oh yeah, I know where it could be. It could be over at this side here. I always miss a tombstone. See, this one was over here. Look at where it was hidden. How does it even spawn there? I don't think I can even reach it. See? Oh, really? Really? I can't click on it. I think it ended up getting clicked. I think I ended up clicking it through the wall. But I definitely couldn't reach it. I'm playing online, and I know the loading time is bad, but I want to play online so that I can do co-op with my viewers every now and then. But yeah, the loading times are bad when online, but there's perks. My saves are safe. My saves are safe online, because if something happens and for unknown reason I lose my saves locally, if I was to play offline, it would suck a lot for me, having to lose everything yet again after so many wipes that I've been through. I've been through so many wipes that I just wanna stop getting my data wiped, so I wouldn't be able to play on offline. But I can only have 13 heroes online, which means I have to make at least 7 heroes offline, because I wanna have one of each. Those 20 archetypes, you cannot get one of each on the online only. So that means I would have to have 13 heroes online and 7 offline if I want to make one of each. And eventually I will have one of each. I would have 5 Dusk Mages, 5 Realm Masters, 5 Sharpshooters and 5 Forged Heroes. But you can't do that unless you play both online and offline. So I've been asking for more character storage to at least give us 20 total. It's reasonable. If you have 20 different combinations that your players can try, well, give them slots for one of each. Give them slots for one of each. It's not like every player would use up every single slot.
Oh yes, potions. I've got those. Oh.
Let's see what dropped, by the way. Cave Breaker. Okay, not bad.
State your business.
Let's take some bundles for gear quickly. Okay, that should do the trick. Getting some starter items.
Potions for you, potions for your little friend.
Okay. So I'm just checking if there's anything I want to keep. So far I don't think there's anything I want to keep from those, other than those 3 things.
You look pale. Can I offer you a drink?
In dirty levels I like using a focus item, it really helps with the mana. Let's see if I've missed some chat. One thing that would help with leveling is showing the quest targets even when the map is an export. Oh yeah, that would definitely help, I agree with you there. And Sinful Duck is back and says, did they make a change to Coldheart or you just giving it a try again? Well, I'm not giving it a try for the sake of giving it a try, I just need to do, I need to have one of every relic for content purposes. For content purposes, I need to level up one of every relic, and since I've been leveling on the other relics until now it's turn for the Coldheart. Nothing has changed on the Coldheart side of things, so this build will probably be the same as my other Dusk Mage Coldheart build. Probably I'm just gonna change the skills I was using. I need to check my other Dusk Mage build to see what skills I used. I probably used Absolver and Entropy, or Absolver and what's its name? Energy Spike. So if I used Entropy last time, this time I'm gonna use Energy Spike, or vice versa. And I'm pretty sure I used Absolver, so I'm most likely going to use something that is not Absolver, like Holy Bolt or Radiant Blast. We'll see. There are options. But yeah, I can't wait for Coldheart to get some sort of changes, because right now it's kind of underwhelming in some regards. Kedrick's back, welcome back Kedrick. And Pokupelu says, I've just lost my Realm Master Coldheart, extreme ridiculous difficulty. At level... is that 17 or 117? I can't... At level 17. Any suggestions for my next character? Oh, for your next character, well, well, just don't get the Coldheart, and if you do Forged, don't go ranged skill 3. I mean, you can still go ranged skill 3, but don't focus too much into it. Those are the underpowered things in the game right now. The range skill tree of the forged and the Coldheart has few good things. Ice Shield is good, Snowstorm is good, but the tier 3 bonus doesn't work. And Cold Front is good, but not so much, but still decent. I wanna try the Ice Golem though. I wanna try the Ice Golem to see if they made it stronger than before. Apparently they made something to the damage of the Ice Golem as a change. I'm wondering how much better it will be. It's still a melee unit, and that melee unit, in general in this game, melee minions are they're like infants. They can't do shit themselves. I mean, by the time they reach an enemy to hit it, that enemy most likely is dead by my own skills. That's how I feel about melee summons. The ranged summons on the other hand are a little bit better, although even they sometimes don't know what to do. Well, Sinful Duck, I'm gonna tell you once I test the golem to see if the golem feels better now. Because they did do some changes to the golem. I actually forgot earlier when you asked me about changes, but they did change some things about it. Apparently the damage of the golem was kind of broken and it wasn't doing the 150% weapon damage. But was it doing more? Was it doing less? If less, how much less? Was it doing 50, 100, 75, 15? I need to check. I need to check how much weapon damage the golem does. And with the new set, there are certain things I wanna try, but I first have to get the new set. As you haven't gotten a single piece of equipment from the new set. It's so terrible in regards to drop rates of that set that I'm wondering what drop rates they must have put for that item. And since I'm now leveling a hero, I'm not gonna be able to get that new item probably for another month or so, because by the time I'm done leveling this hero and it's ready for a build video, it will be time to play Chaos Bane for a few days, and then it will be time to play Godfall, and probably around the end of this month I would be able to go back to Torchlight, but I will be trying to go back and forth between Chaos Bane, Torchlight 3 and Godfall. But it will be busy. This month I will be busy with 3 games, trying to make room for every game on my stream and on my YouTube videos as content. Right now, by the way, there is an official stream running for Godfall. I'm gonna give you the link if you don't know it. Just a moment. You might wanna watch it. Okay, just a moment. So this is the link. If you want more Godfall footage, and it was a Q&A. Before the Q&A, they showed us a boss fight. The boss of the water realm. It was a very fun boss fight. It reminded me of Monster Hunter and that other game. What was its name? Dauntless. And they're probably now doing the Q&A session still with Arex and Dick Kane, the producer, and the War Daddy, and the person who is doing those war series about Godfall, and one more person whose name I missed earlier when I was watching it. As for Forged, I would say very good relics for Forge would be Flaming Destroyer and Electrode and Blood Drinker. Bane is not that good of a synergy with Forged, and Coldheart for now I would stay away from. So Pokupeu, I would suggest if you want survivability, go Blood Drinker. If you want damage, Flaming Destroyer or Electrode would be something you might enjoy. And Never a Wookie Gamer says, how do you feel about the legendary back contract reward being removed again? I feel it shouldn't have been added in the first place, because some people didn't know it was removed, and they were like, "Oh, look at this new thing! We now have legendary bags in the, in the, in the contracts." And some people who didn't know that this was not supposed to be there, they thought it was part of the patch and it was intended, and they would be much more disappointed now that it's been removed. Whereas people who knew it was not supposed to be there, who knew that it was removed, and they accidentally added it, probably won't be as disappointed. I mean, my stance on this is they shouldn't have removed them in the first place. But if we take this out of the equation, then my stance would be they shouldn't have added them back in the first place. If it was up to me, I would prefer for those to stay in the. I would prefer for those to stay in the contracts, because first of all, look at this shit. Look at this shit here. Let me just show you. See, I collect this and it's 3 bundles. But look at the shittiest thing about those 3 bundles. They don't stack. They don't fucking stack. So I collect one thing and then it takes three pieces of my consumables inventory, which makes me not want to collect my contract rewards, because that would require so much clicking and going from one interface to the other. Another thing is when I'm opening those things, it keeps, when I'm pressing escape, it keeps exiting the inventory. Every single consumable from the contracts should stack to 20, 30, maybe even to 50. Green gear bundles, blue gear bundles, resource bundles, essence bundles, all of those things should have a big stack number so that you can press C and keep claiming. So that you can just keep claiming and claim around 100, 200 contract rewards at once. And then just open your inventory and start opening the things or selling the things. I know why they're not doing it, because people would abuse it and save stuff for money. But again, why? Why shouldn't we save stuff for money? And why should we have to play a clicker game instead of killing stuff? And then when we are ready to start collecting stuff without having to open the contract collection, then open my inventory, then a few seconds later open my contract collection, then the inventory, and it's just a shitty, very badly designed whoop. It's one of the worst designs in a game I've ever seen in regards to collecting rewards, with all that non-stacking rewards. I mean, I'm gonna be brutal regarding certain things in this game because I care about the game and I want it to improve. But the game is treating us in a brutal way, so I'm gonna be brutal in return. This is just shitty design, and it's meant to make you click in the menu over and over and over, and it's just not fun. There's nothing fun about standing in one place and going from one hut to another hut, from one hut to another hut, just to clear out some junk rewards that you don't even need. All right, let's move on. And yeah, for now the only thing I can do with my contract rewards is to save them up. But then what do we need contract rewards for in the first place if we are not collecting them? We really need more quality of life. Less clicking, more killing stuff. Less clicking, more looting stuff. In general, I don't see why they're so cheap on the stacking. On the item stacking limits. It's not like we're going to overload the servers and the databases if they give us stacking limits of 20, 30, 50 on every one of those things. And yeah, I understand you can collect resource bundles and essence bundles, actually not resource, just essence bundles, and sell them and get a ton of gold if they would stack. But I don't see a reason why not to do that. Why shouldn't we save those and sell them when we need the money for enchanting? In general, the enchanting also needs a lot of new options, and I've said it already and I've written it. But yeah, some things in the game are just so user non-friendly, so user unfriendly, that it's silly how user unfriendly it could be, how they thought it would be a good idea to design it in such a way from the player's perspective. Let's see. Let's see what Never Wookie Gamer says. It seems that they're throttling the rate you get legendary gear because there are so few of them in the first place. Other games have done the same. Well, I don't think they're throttling the rate you get legendaries, because I'm getting a ton of legendaries after the final patch, and I'm not the only one getting a ton of legendaries. But I'm not even talking about legendaries here. I'm just talking about some random consumables. And yeah, games do it. There's gotta be a balance between time spent for rewards gotten, and they did a mistake right before launch, tweaking the drop rates, which resulted in many people being unhappy. And now they returned those drop rates, but some people still haven't gotten the update. Some people have the patch, but the drop rates for them didn't change. And I don't know how this is even physically possible for everyone to get the same patch, but not for everyone to get the drop rate increase. How does this even work? I have gotten the drop rate myself, and I haven't seen proof other than people writing that they haven't gotten drops. But until I see someone like uploading a video of 3, 4, 5 hours consecutive recording without editing and interruptions, doing endgame on ridiculous on online mode, not offline, online mode on PC, and not getting drops, until then I'm not gonna believe that. But again, there's probably something broken, because it's not just one person reporting bad drops after the patch. But yeah, I have trouble trusting stuff when it comes to games, and because there's been people who have misled me and provided misinformation and stuff like that, especially while streaming live. So now whenever someone tells me something, until I see it with my own eyes, I kind of don't trust it. In most cases, depending on who it comes from, the news and stuff like that. But yeah, I think right now the drop rates for those who have the same drop rates as me, not only are they good, they're actually much better than I even expected a game to have. I mean, the other day I got 2 legendaries from the same monster. In one map I think I got 4 legendaries for that one map. And I've never imagined this game would have these good drop rates ever since Alpha. It's the best it has been. Ever since Alpha, I've never seen such good drop rates in this game. It's so good that it's silly. The one problem is it's still not giving me the items I need, the new set items. So I might get like 4, 5, 6 pieces of cosmic items or celestial pieces in 2 hours of farming. But yeah, I'm gonna get 0 pieces of ancient ember pieces. In fact, I'm still waiting for someone to confirm that ancient ember pieces drop after the hotfix yesterday. Because they weren't dropping before that hotfix, they were only dropping from gear bundles. So does that mean now that the gear bundles are removed, that we have no actual source of getting ancient ember items until they fix the Fazir drops of those items? Or are the drops not broken, just super low, and that's why it seems like it's broken? There's many questions that I've got, But yeah, I wish there was somewhere where you can just dig into the game files and see the real numbers behind drop rates of certain things without having to ask developers. Let's see, I can't wait for this game to get modding support. If it gets modding support and if it's not that difficult to mod it, I might try and make a mod myself. Just a simple mod with every single legendary available for 0 gold at an NPC with a random generated stats and an NPC that boosts you to level 60 immediately. That's the one mod I need as a content creator and maker of builds. That's all I need, something that lets me get a new hero to level 60 instantly and access to every single legendary in the game so I can experiment with builds and test those things. So such a mod would really make me wanna start making a ton of offline heroes for build making purposes. Cause see what I'm doing right now. I'm not saying it's too bad, but it's definitely not fun when you've leveled up so many heroes already. I just can't enjoy these games leveling up. It gets me very tilted when I have to level up a new hero. The same way I've done the others. And you can't do the Fuzzier dungeon unless you beat Act 3. Unless you beat the story. I mean, you can always level up with Mapworks. It's an option. It definitely is an option, which reminds me, I'm probably gonna do a few Mapworks portals soon. Just to go ahead of my content to make things easier. Trial of Fire. Alright, let's try and find it. But yeah, no legendaries definitely classifies as bad drop rates. And yeah, the other day when I couldn't get for 4.5 hours, I would just get one item until the drops started dropping. But after the patch, it's so much better. After the patch, as I said, it's silly good drops. It's so silly that I'm surprised it drops this much on Ridiculous, on PC, on online mode. Cause this is the only thing I've tested is Ridiculous PC online or Ridiculous PC normal. Normal PC online, I mean. And it does drop like crazy. Oh, maybe I should make an Unholy Bolt build. Yeah, actually that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make an Unholy Bolt build this time. Last time I definitely didn't make Unholy Bolt. So this time I'm gonna consider using Unholy Bolt in the build. To build the Dark Buff bar. Which means I can use the Soul Flask. But Unholy Bolt would be good for proc monster builds. I don't think it's gonna be good for a Coldheart build. Because it's fast attacking multiple projectile skill with low damage. So it's good to proc stuff but not good to do damage with that skill. We'll see though, maybe with damage to Unholy Bolt I can get it to become strong enough. Come on, I need to get at least level 5 before Wide World. I find it weird how I'm already here and my XP is still so bad. See, normally when I reach Wide World, I'm level 6, close to level 7. After they changed the XP with the final patch, it's much worse. I'm not even level 5 and I'm close to reaching Wide World. I mean, 2000 for a level up at 2000 XP for level up at this level seems a bit too much. I think they might have messed something up with some of the levels. Maybe they might have added an extra 0 by accident. Because 2000 seems like the XP needed for some of the higher levels. I mean, level 60 requires 5600 XP. So 2000 for level 4 to 5 seems broken to me as XP needed. I hope it's just level 4 and after that it goes back to a normal number. But yeah, this is definitely broken. So basically, if that's how it's supposed to be, they want us to not have our movement skill, our level 5 skills, before we beat Wide Vault. Which is very bad. Because Wide Vault is exactly the first encounter where you really need your movement skill, because he has a charge. So you need something to help you avoid this charge. Come on, Wide Vault. Come on. And of course I got stunned. Alright, there we go. Let's see if I've missed some chat. If I miss your chat messages, apologies. I'm trying to scroll back in between fights. Harish said, if devs could give me a sample of the drop data across a subset of random users, online and offline, I'd be able to get the probability for drops. Basically, Michael a few weeks ago confirmed that every single item has the exact same drop rate as every other legendary item. So there is no difference in between one item and the other in regards to drop rates, but RNG is a bitch. RNG keeps giving me the same items over and over and over and over, and that's very bad, because we don't have a system to let us show middle finger to the RNG. When the RNG shows us a middle finger, we should be able in a game to take that middle finger and stick it up RNG's bum. But we don't have such a system. That's why I suggested some sort of transmuting system, where you can take one set item and get another, where you can take one weapon and get another, by paying some sort of resources. And yeah, a system with affix rerolling also would be pretty decent. Bonus damage to basic attacks. Should I get that, or should I get bolts fired? I don't do shock, so bolts fired on shock probably is not the greatest thing for me. I'm forgetting that I can get something nice here. So basically, look at this. Look at this thing now. I can level up with the Absorber. Yeah. Yeah. It's just silly. It's just silly. This is another thing I'm expecting to get fixed soon. I mean, this is something that shouldn't be happening. But it does, and actually like it, and if they don't fix it, it would be amazing, because that would make leveling up new heroes much easier. I'm not showing a force drop a guaranteed legendary. I don't want a guaranteed legendary, because if I get a guaranteed legendary, it's still gonna be random what legendary I get. I want a system where I take one legendary, put it in the enchanter, pay some resources like some essences, and then I get another legendary in return. Which also would be randomized, but it would be randomized from the same type of legendary. So I take one weapon, I get another weapon. I take one armor of my celestial set, and then I get another armor of the celestial set. I can give you the link if you want to read exactly about my idea. I'm gonna give you the link so you can see everything that I'm talking about, because it's much better if you see it on the link instead of me explaining it. It's written there, so it's explained. There's mock-up screenshots of how the HUD can look. Again, I'm not a game designer, so I can't design it as good as someone professional would do it. But I at least try to make it easy to understand visually regarding what my idea for those three systems, for those three things of two systems is. It's two systems, but one of them has two functions, the other one has another separate function. And this can be expanded further. This can be expanded further, but that's a very nice way to make the enchanter and the enchanting outer much more than it currently is. I think it will be very fun if they do something like that. Bonus damage to basic attacks doesn't work, so I might as well go for shock bolts. Let's go collect my reward. And Kevin asks, have you done much testing with multiplayer buff debuff stacking? Curious what synergies exist. What multiplayer buff debuff stacking do you mean? Obviously you could synergize consecration for multiplayer. You can also synergize Sonic Pulse with Blasting Charge with Goose. Sonic Pulse, Blasting Charge and Goose gives you over 100 vulnerability total to the enemies. And if you add that with Consecration, the Dusk Mage can get such a huge boost on that enemy, it's silly. Then you can stack PP with Damnation. That means the enemies are barely gonna scratch you with PP and Damnation on them. Then there's, what else should I say? Well, then there's Blood Drinker. If you have multiple people on the Blood Drinker, let's say everyone is playing Blood Drinker in the team. 4 people with Blood Drinker, 4 people with Blood Seekers, 4 people constantly healing each other if they stay together. That's super nice combo. And if you combine that healing with Consecration and then Holy Fury with the what's its name? I forgot the name. That item, the Holy Fury item. I'm gonna check it in a moment. Just a moment. So the Holy Fury item should be the Vitality Extractor. So let's say you have 4 Blood Mages. 4 Blood Mages with Holy Fury and the Vitality Extractor and Consecration tier 3 and and the aura Bloodseekers maxed out. They're constantly healing each other. I'm not sure whether the healing from Consecration only heals you or whether it heals everyone in the circle, but let's say there's four Consecrations that heals everyone. That's 4 times 3%, and then you get like another 5% with the Holy Fury, as long as you're channeling, and then you get some extra healing per second with the Bloodseekers, and then if you have a duration to Bloodseekers, that's gonna last for much longer. If you have energy cost reduction and energy charge rate, it's gonna be super great. That's gonna be an interesting combo to try. The 4 beamer mages with the Blood Drinker. Legendary for skill points, well, that might be a little bit overpowered maybe, because they don't want us to make money from selling legendaries. That's why they only cost 100 gold. And a Respectacle costs 2500. So right now you can do it. You can take 25 legendaries and trade them for 1 Respectacle if you want to. So it's not like you can't do it. You can, but you need 25 legendaries to get 2500 gold for a Respectacle, and that's not worth it. Although I still sell legendaries I don't need, because I don't have room to store them. If it's a bad raw legendary, I'm just gonna sell it, because I don't need the essence. See, right now the game is designed in such a way that you really don't feel the need of stacking so much essences, because at one point you have more essence than the game would require from you. And that's why my suggestion for those expansions of the enchanting counter would give us a way to dump essences into the enchanting counter one way or another. Because right now everyone is probably selling those things. Let me show you those things. See, those bundles, you can sell them for like 250 gold, and the legendary one for 300 plus. Most people would sell them because eventually they would have more essence than they need. I've started selling them because my essence is 1000, 500 and 400, so I'm never gonna run out of those unless they add a new way to spend them. And I think my suggestions are pretty legit suggestions of how this can be used. You can make it expensive, like 20, 30 per transmute or per transforge, reforge, whatever you want to call it. So let's say you pay like 10 or 15 or 20 legendary essence, which is 10 or 15 or 20 legendary items, just so you can reforge one item or transmute one item into another. Or let's say you pay 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 per affix you're rerolling. And if you reroll all 3 or 4 affixes, you're paying 15 or 20 legendary essence on a legendary item, which does seem like an okay price and an okay way to dump all those essences. And with the new drop rates, it makes sense, because you're getting a lot of junk legendaries you don't need, just like in Diablo 3. In Diablo 3 there are so many junk legendaries we get that we just use for materials, for gambling, and for other things like rerolling. And I wouldn't mind something similar here, to use materials for rerolling out of the junk legendaries we don't need. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing games like those for a while, and there's one thing I care about a lot, and that's quality of life and valuing a player's time. And most of my suggestions come from when I have bad experiences with certain RNG systems. And that's where those suggestions stem from. I'm just not a fan of leaving it only up to RNG and telling you that's how the dice rolls. That's me quoting a developer, by the way, from one of the streams. That's all they said. That was from a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago or so. But they said that's how the dice rolls. And that's just not enough. It's not enough to just leave it to that's how the dice rolls. There should be a way of negating when the dice is bad to you. And I may not be a big fan of Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 has a very good re-rolling system. And it makes sense. The way it's designed in that game there, it makes sense. And I think something similar in this game would be just perfect. But first of all, they need to sort the problem with those people who are still not getting items at all as drops. I'm not one of those people, so again, until I see proof, I'm just only gonna be guessing what's happening for those people who are not getting drops. Because it could be people trolling, but I don't know. Until I see some concrete proof that there's a problem and they're not really getting drops, I'm gonna be a little bit skeptical about that. If someone tells me they're playing online on ridiculous on PC, I would find it hard to believe. If they tell me they're playing offline or they're playing on console or they're not playing on ridiculous when farming level 60 content, then I would find it easy to believe because they're not doing the same thing as I am. And then I wouldn't mind believing that there's something wrong with their drop rates. But in general, this game first and foremost needs more endgame. That's the main thing that would bring people back to the game, because people already started quitting the game. Moving to other games. As I predicted, 2-3 weeks after the launch, the player base would just get bored with just the Fuzzier being the only endgame activity. That's why I thought it would be best to launch this game around Christmas. Maybe 2 weeks before Christmas, so they would still have 1 or 2 weeks of fixing stuff after launch, before the holidays. Because they're gonna go on a holiday probably for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Around the holidays, as normal, every developer company does that. They take some sort of break around the holidays to be with their families. So expect the final update for this year to be probably 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas. So maybe we're gonna get two updates before this year ends, before the end of the year. Probably another update around let's say 2-3 weeks from now. Let's say the week starting on the 23rd of October would be a good guess for a patch, not hotfix but patch. And then on the week of 13th of December, the 14th of December might be the other one where we get the final patch before this year ends. Terry the Tank is back. Welcome back, Terry. And no, Harish, I'm not good for being in corporate. The corporate thing is not for me. I'm the last person they would wanna hire for any sort of corporate position. Believe me and corporate just don't go along well. Mentally, being a part of a company, a corporate position, just makes me so exhausted. And yeah, I tried it. I gave it a try after graduating university. Had a job in one company, quit it, moved to another one. Had a job there with better pay, actually very decent pay, and with flexible hours. And even then, I just couldn't stand the whole corporate thing, having to deal with with people telling me do this, do that, do this quickly, do this that quickly, and then constantly giving me new things that I need to do that weren't part of my original agreement. It's just not for me. But I don't mind giving feedback. I don't mind giving feedback after playing something. But the thing is, my feedback is very niche, because there's not many people who think the same way I do when it comes to games. Most players like different things than I do. By the way, did you see this book? Level 4 required 2000 XP. Level 5 requires 1000 XP. I was telling you there is something wrong with level 4, and yes, it required 2 times the XP of level 5. So I'm assuming level 4 needs to be 750 or 700 XP, not 2000 XP. So that was definitely a bug. Because I found it weird why it was taking so long to reach level 5. They might have accidentally done something wrong with the numbers there. Alright, I'm gonna need to do map works for levels, because my XP is very low, my items are not high enough for the content I'm doing. Just understand though, when there is a bug that makes it so hard to get level 5, it makes sense that you would find yourself out-leveled by the content. Obviously I'm gonna die. No potions. See, the problem is my items, they're not good enough for this content. I'm gonna start doing some map works before I continue with my story. Because my level is just too low. And yeah, all that XP, the XP increase that they added is just... No one asked for increasing how much XP it takes us to level up. It was fine the way it was before. Come on. Excavated workshop. I'm gonna have to do some map works in this excavated workshop. How many maps should I do? 3, 4, 5 maps? I'm wondering how many would be a good number of maps to do. Let's see if I've missed any messages. Well, I can tell you, Kevin, that stacking two times vulnerability on the Realm Master probably won't be doable. Stacking 2 times the vulnerability from Busting Charge probably won't work on the same enemy if it's 2 Realm Masters. But 2 times Realm Master Electrode is a good thing, because that's 2 people who can shock enemies and keep enemies shocked, and you're gonna be helping each other, proccing each other's lightning strikes. You're gonna be helping shocking enemies for the other person. So that will work. And Walkaway Storm and Chaotic Strikes, it doesn't matter whether it's two of you doing it, it's still gonna have its own hits. So it's not a bad thing to do sometimes. But yeah, it's much better if you stack a Sharpshooter with Goose, Realmaster with Blasting Charge, and a Forged with Sonic Pulse to get over 100% damage vulnerability with all 3 skills on an enemy. That's why when you play together, the enemies take less damage from you. Because you're buffing each other so much. For example, let's take Miasma, stacking with Walkaway Storm, stacking with Nimble Flames, no, Cloak of Flames, stacking with Snowstorm, for example. That's 4 different skills with 25% extra damage. So you can get 100% damage with 4 people if you activate your auras at the same time. If those stack. Again, I think they do stack, but I need to do more testing in that sometime. Harry says, what is it with the Phase Beast showing the same monster? So basically with the Phase Beast will only show you monsters that you have defeated in the story. So if you are in Act 1 and you haven't beaten the final boss of Act 1, but you have beaten White Woad and Strong Tusk, the only monster you're gonna see is White Woad and Strong Tusk. If you're in Act 2 and you have beaten everyone from Act 1 and you have beaten Kronk and Psora, but not Sadista, you would be able to see from the Phase Beast the monsters from Act 1, Kronk and Psora, but not Sadista and not the monsters from Act 3. That's how the Phase Beast works. It only spawns bosses and mini bosses that you have beaten in the story. That's a new change from the Gear and Goblins patch, if I remember correctly. If not, maybe from the previous patch, from the 6th of October. It's one of those more recent patches. Should I start using Entropy instead of Absolver? Let's do this. Let's go all dark. Actually, all dark won't work. I'm gonna need 1 light skill and I'm gonna take maybe Holy Bolt. And just like this. Which reminds me, let's see if there's anything I can equip better than mine. Alright, pet, go sell. See, I'm gonna do a few maps for XP before I continue with the story. Maybe I can get level 8, 9, maybe 10 and then go on with my story. Because the enemies are level 9 already at the story. Due to this bug where level 4 took 2000 XP, when level 5 takes 1000. 4 to 5 took 2000 and 5 to 6 takes 1000 XP. Definitely something was wrong there. So by now I should have been level 7, maybe 7.5 with that XP that I wasted on level 4.
You have gained a level.
Come on, come on. I think with Absolver it's quicker to level up than with Entropy. Oh, there we go. There we go. I can just do it like this now.
Your pet has arrived.
Now it's much easier. Okay, time for a boss fight. Let's see if I missed some messages. Harish says, I get the same boss every time I get the phase beast. Yeah, are you talking about level 60 phase beasts? Or are you talking about phase beasts while leveling up? Because as I said, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird if you're getting at level 60 the same phase beast every time. Okay, let's move on. Harish says leveling up and offline. Offline and leveling up. Well, that's strange. What level are you, and have you beaten any bosses that come after the boss you're seeing? Like, what level is this? As I said, you must have beaten the boss in the story in order for that boss to show up in the beast portal. Until then it won't. Oh, this is actually pretty good with the shock. I'm gonna keep the green sword as a spare and wife bound my weapon. I really need to get some mana again. The mana infused from the celestial boots would be amazing. I'm gonna have to look through my storage to see if I've got some more level celestial items that I can equip. I should have a few saved up low level items. And 2Mets, thank you very much 2Mets for the follow on Twitch. Welcome to the Struck Club to you. And Harry says he's on level 40 and he's seeing only the first goblin boss. Well, this definitely seems like a bug to me. If you're in level 40 and you're only seeing the first goblin boss, if you're only seeing White World, and there's something wrong there for sure. And Tumet says, hi Struck, what are you going for with the new build? For the new build, I don't know what I'm gonna go for. I wanna test Ice Golem because they said they fixed its damage. I want to see if it's still shit damage or whether it's actually gonna do something worth investing into the skill, and I want to do it differently than my other Ice Dusk Mage, so I'm probably gonna avoid Absolver for the final version. I'm thinking of making a build where I'm spamming Unholy Bolt this time. But the thing is, Unholy Bolt is a very bad synergy with Coldheart. Very bad synergy with Coldheart. But I wanna do it. I wanna do it and see how that goes. Okay, we got the mana again. This is something I needed. Why is it a bad synergy? Because, well, it's a fast attacking low damage skill. It doesn't do much damage, but it's good for proccing. And the Coldheart doesn't have a proc. There is no proc on Coldheart. See, if it was Electrode, it would be amazing, because it would be proccing a lot of things. Thunder Strike, Lightning Strikes and things like that. If it was on the Flaming Destroyer, it could proc Firestorm, it could proc that other sword from Summoning Smash. So there's things you can proc on every relic, but on the on the Coldheart. Coldheart is the one relic that's the worst for proc monster things. But I will see it. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking about right now that I just will discover once I start using it. The obvious thing would be freezing the enemies, and the worst thing about Unholy Bolt is if an enemy gets hit by two projectiles, it's not gonna take the damage twice. So if I'm staying close to the enemy, like this, and the enemy gets hit by all 3 projectiles, or 4 or 5, it's still gonna take the damage for 1 projectile. I don't like how this works. I wish Absolver and Unholy Bolt and Arc of Light Holy Bolt worked in such a way where every single spike, every single Holy Bolt and Holy Bolt, etc. that hits the enemy would do separate damage. Energy Spike is the same story. Regardless how many of the spikes hit the enemy, if you're like up close, point blank, you're only gonna do the damage once. But there's another story with Energy Spike. If the spike hits once and knocks back the enemy and then hits again with the next one, then it should take multiple times the damage. But it doesn't work that way for Absolver and Unholy Bolt and things like that. And I wish right now when I'm hitting with multiple Absolver projectiles for the enemy to be taking the damage of all 3 projectiles. It makes sense, you hit it with 3 things, why take the damage once? Exactly, that is definitely super unintuitive. I think they made it for balancing purposes, because those skills would have been overpowered if they took damage per bolt. But well, they can reduce the damage of the skill and make it take damage per bolt. and then you can melt bosses with that skill up close, either of those skills. Then you're gonna have a reason to use those AoE skills as single target skills, or spread the damage across multiple targets with less damage per because you're gonna be hitting with just one projectile per target. Vibrate just subscribed to Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, Vibrate, again for the subscribe on Twitch for the Twitch Prime. Welcome back, and right in the feels, dude. Right in the feels. Harish says, are you going to stream anything else between now when Cyberpunk comes out? Yes, Harish, I'm going to stream Warhammer Chaosbane the Slayer, the new hero. It's coming on the 10th of November as a DLC. It's gonna be a paid DLC, so on Tuesday you can expect me to stream this, and on Thursday, next Thursday on the 12th is Godfall. If I can run Godfall with my shitty video graphics card, even if it's on the lowest possible settings, as long as I can get decent frame rates, I don't mind playing on the lowest settings. I will be streaming Godfall as well, because I want to make content for Godfall. The game seems like my kind of game. It seems like a tinkerer, a build maker's dream. That game. There's a lot of build diversity and variety and customization. I want to explore this. So I can't wait to be able to explore some things like that. So yeah, Warhammer Chaosbane and Godfall. Those will be what I'm gonna be juggling Torchlight 3 with. So I will be doing content and streaming all three games: Torchlight 3, Godfall, and Warhammer Chaosbane. But on Chaosbane I will be focusing on the new hero. So I will make some videos for the new hero. I will make a video about the patch, like an overview of the patch notes and all the changes. Hopefully there's a big change. Hopefully they reworked some of the boring aspects of the end game, because I really could use some refreshments in Chaosbane. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So I've got some time until the 10th to be done with this guy and maybe make a build out of it. With this build. Should I get more mana again, less boats? I think that's what I need the most right now. Yeah, let's say more mana again is what I'm gonna go for. What I need to do now is find the waypoint in this zone. What type of mage I'm doing? I still have no idea. We'll see. We'll see what it is. I want to do Unholy Bolt this time as the final build. I'm not gonna go into Unholy Bolt while leveling up. So I'm probably gonna do Unholy Bolt with Radiant Blast or Unholy Bolt with Holy Bolt. With Arc of Light. We'll see. I'm gonna be experimenting. I just don't want to copy paste my old build, and my old build, let me try and open the video. My old Dusk Mage Coldheart was it Piercing Cold, or was that I've forgotten the name, but I'm gonna try and find it. Yeah, it's Piercing Cold. So on the Piercing Cold build, I've opened the video now. I used apparently I used Holy Bolt with Arc of Light. I used Energy Spike Dark Spears, Luminous Run, Light Spear, Frost Blast, Snowstorm, and oh no, that's Ice Shield. That's not Snowstorm. That's Ice Shield, and Cold Front. So that's the old Ice Shield icon. Oh, okay, so I can do Snowstorm this time, and I can do Absolver maybe, and then maybe Absolver and Unholy Bolt. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely gonna use Ice Shield though. Ice Shield is a must-have for me here. And Snowstorm will be a must-have this time around. Because the Piercing Coat was my attempt to rework an old build before they made the Relic subclasses. But it's not the build I wanted to make. I just made it to be as close as possible to the original. But this time around I'm not gonna be restricting myself to make the build as close as possible to an old build. This time I'm just gonna be experimenting, making something new. Yeah, let's see. Should I check for some items? I probably have some low level items I can equip. Some celestial items would be perfect. Wait, what's this? Consecration duration. Oh, this is level 9. This is better. I'm gonna go for the mana again for now, but just in case I'm gonna keep this with me. Just checking for any low level items that I can grab with me. Damage with Holy Bolt and crit damage, yeah, that's good. Let's take it. So the skills I need to avoid are Energy Spike as active and Holy Bolt. Anything else works. Anything else works. Anything else is fair game. I'm just trying to make sure I don't make the same build as my previous ones. If I get Molten Reach at level 60, I will try and make a Molten Reach build. Because I just haven't gotten, since the game launched, I still haven't gotten the Molten Reach and made a proper nice looking Entropy Molten Reach setup. Okay, let's do some maps. You know what, I'm gonna quickly transfer maps. I've got over 40 maps on my Realmaster. 40 maps that are just standing there taking up room. I'm talking about those maps here. 18, 20. They were 47, but I did some maps today to record footage. So from 47 they went down to 38. So I can just transfer some of those. Wait, did it? It didn't work, cause yeah, I was trying something stupid. Need to do it that way. Alright, now we can take those maps.
Recruit, good job on rescuing our officers. It appears that
Let's get some potions as well while we are here.
Potions for you, potions for your little friend.
And since I'm in the city, I might as well... Should I get Respectacles or start gambling? Let's get some Respectacles.
You next time.
One can never have enough spectacles, so might as well do that. And should I save points for Ice Golem? Or I'm gonna save points for Energy Spike and Light Spear as passives, most likely. And I don't need this for now, I can use Consecration instead of it. And I need Ice Shield tier 1 as soon as I can. Ice Shield tier 1 is gonna be my priority. Now that I've gotten the tier 2 bonus of the Shadow Step, the mana again, my next main step is Ice Shield tier 1. Okay, I'm gonna start doing some maps now. Just to get level 10 and then I'm gonna go back to the story. It's much easier if you do some maps and then do the story when you're a little bit higher level. And Johan says, what type of DU? What do you mean by DU? I'm assuming Dusk Mage or something. But yeah, this type of Dusk Mage, it's work in progress. I still don't have a clear idea. With the Drain Train, I had a clear idea. I wanted to make it a Drain Train. Very early on I realized I want to make it a Drain Train. But with this one, the rule is just don't make it the Piercing Coat again. So as long as it's not the Piercing Coat, it should be good enough. I'm probably gonna make a support build version as well. I'm probably gonna make a skill point allocation for a support co-op freezer mage. See, now if you have a freezer in the team, I know it sounds silly, freezer, but yeah, if you have someone to keep freezing the enemies for the others, it's gonna make the whole thing super easy on everyone. So if you have a weapon with chance to freeze, it will be good synergy. So you're gonna be focusing on the freezing and your teammates are gonna be the ones doing most of the damage, and you can support them with Consecration. Maybe you can try Consecration and Damnation as a support build. I will make a theory. I will make a theory for a full support Dusk Mage for co-op. You're gonna have freezing, you're gonna have Consecration, you're gonna have Snowstorm for extra freezing as well. You're gonna have Damnation to reduce the enemy damage. Things like those. But I'm not gonna make it the main skill point allocation for the build. It's gonna be like an alternative suggested way of playing. Come on, come on. Oh, we got a lightning bower. A bower of an item. So this one apparently is bugged and gets the Molten Reach modifier. So if you have Molten Reach in the Legendarium or equipped, the lightning bower also gets those extra projectiles. I'm not sure if they fixed it, but someone said it works that way. Oh, that's a chance to freeze weapon. Let's see how it would work. See, this one travels a bit slower, so it's pretty nice. But the cooldown... I'm loving the freezing though. See, Unholy Bolt is very good for freezing proc monster builds. If you wanna proc the freezing, often Unholy Bolt, as I said, would be a great one. The Lightning Bower also is a good one, because it can proc that freeze with every one of those missiles. So even though I said Coldheart is not good for proc monster builds, it's good for freezing proc monster builds, where the only thing you're proccing is the freeze, most likely. So you're not gonna see much damage, but all the crowd control will be nice if you go on Holy Bolt spamming with Soul Flask. But again, if only we could do more damage by hitting with multiple bolts, would have been so much better. Alright, Woodsby stop. I'm not gonna use this, obviously, it's not better than mine. Oh, do you see what just happened? I didn't kill enough enemies and now I need to go back. Well, we gotta go back. For 24 enemies. Oh, that's a lot. I hope I can even find that many. There's gotta be some over here. Okay, let's move. Okay, moving on. Okay, I was really hoping by the time I need to play another Coldheart build that they would do some sort of changes to certain things. But yeah, for content purposes I need the Coldheart leveled up along with every other relic. Come on, come on. Joker Poker, well, Wolsen, I will give Wolsen another go when there's the first Chronicle. But there's gonna be so many games coming soon. There's gonna be so many games coming soon that I mean, we've got Chaosbane new patch in less than a week, in 5 days. Then we've got Godfall in 7 days from now. And then eventually there's gonna be, what's its name? I forgot the name. Oh yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 at the end of the year. Just so many things that I don't know if there's gonna be time for Wolsen, even if they do the Chronicle this or next month. I'm not sure I can even find the time. At best I can do a playthrough and try and reach level 70 something 80. See if there's major improvements to the leveling up speed, to the farming rates, to the affinity rates, to the crafting system which was broken. Make a video about it and see if it's gonna be worth playing it after that. But yeah, Joker Poker, Wilson would kind of be outshined by all the other games. So we'll see. I mean, I had high hopes for Wilson ever since the alpha. It's a game I really wanted to make it and to be good and to actually enjoy playing it and making content for it. I didn't expect this bad of a launch, and I didn't expect this many things broken, and I didn't expect this huge of a disbalance between shit builds and good builds. I like when a shit build is not that bad in a game, where a shit build, where the game is that well balanced that regardless of what you take, you can still get a decent build. Not a meta build, but still a decent build that can do the hardest content, just not as quickly. That means it's well balanced. That's what it means if something is like that. Right now, Torchlight 3, it's not perfectly balanced, but even if I take the weakest hero with the weakest relic, I can still do ridiculous, and eventually maybe I can still finish the Fazir. Of course, it's gonna be very painful to play on ridiculous with the most underpowered build one can think of. And to beat it, but it's not impossible. With good items in this game, even the shittiest build should be able to complete level 251 in the Fazir. But it's gonna take much longer, much longer, with a lot of retries, maybe a lot of deaths, if you don't play right. Oh, why did it give me this map? The worst map it could give me. And it's spiders as well. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be enough spiders in this map. Hopefully there are. I'm trying to get to like level 10. By the way, do you see level 8 is 1000 XP. So 8 to 9 is 1000 XP. Basically 5 to 6, 7 to 6 to 7 and 7 to 8 and 8 to 9 all require 1000 XP. But level 4 to 5 was 2000 XP. Which was obviously a bug. I actually find it very weird why those levels have the exact same amount of XP required per level. Something seems wrong there. There should have been a slight increase by a 50, 100, etc. every level instead of giving you the exact same number for 4 consecutive levels, one after the other. I'm not sure why I didn't notice this on my Realm Master. I think I know why. I think because someone power leveled me. I think Vitoxin or someone else power leveled my my Realm Master to level 20 for Flamethrower car. Between level 7 or 8 or something, maybe level 4 or 5. Can't remember exactly when, but at some point someone offered to power level me, and I think it was Vitoxin. And yeah, that's why I didn't notice this this badly balanced XP after level 4. See, 9 to 10 is also 1000 XP. We don't see a change in the XP required for the level. Not even by a single number. That's very, very strange. They could have at least made them with a 50 difference. So one of them instead of 1000 could be 900, the other one 950, the other 1000, then 1050, and then 1100 instead of 1000 XP for each of them. Okay, 2 more melee spiders. Maybe they're over here. Where are they? I've explored almost the full map. Almost. And Joker Poker, nice to know that you like Torchlight 3. There are a lot of things to like in the game, and also a decent amount of things maybe you could dislike. But for me, the things that I like in this game outweigh the negatives, unlike other games where it's the opposite. It's in general more chill game to play. Definitely a more chill game to play, especially solo. Some of the other games when you play them solo are much more difficult. And regarding Godfall, I had my concerns about the combat, but today from that dev stream, that Q&A dev stream of Godfall, it makes me wanna play even more, because it really looks like Monster Hunter and Dauntless, the boss fights, where you're fighting one boss with some mechanics and things like that. You have to dodge. See, the guy, there was this boss that does a laser, and you could just swipe under the laser. If you're good, you can swipe underneath it. Yeah, and that's the developer says. If you're cool, you're gonna swipe under the laser. If you're not cool, you can put your shield up and block it. But you still take damage when blocking, which is interesting. So you reduce the damage you take when you use your shield to block an attack, but you still take damage in Godfall. That's something that I didn't know until this stream, until I saw this stream, till I saw the HUD overlays, etc.
You can't use that skill.
Oh, I forgot to level up my ice shield. Oh, fuck.
You've reached your end.
I forgot. Okay. I need a new weapon. Wait, what did I lose? Oh, I didn't lose something that I had equipped. Okay. Let's get rid of the lightning bower and maybe put let's put this here. And I got a scroll of wife bound. Anything worth wife binding? Most likely not. Okay, one more level to get level 10. And then I can go back to doing story quests. I should be equal content with my quest if I'm level 10, if I'm not mistaken, with Dog Jockey being level 10 or so. Although I can just go straight for Dog Jockey now. I think I'm good. At this level I should be fine with Dog Jockey. My gear should be up to speed now. So which way is the right way? Maybe this way. I'm gonna be able to tell by the level of the monsters. If they're level 7, okay, they're level 8, so that's the right way. Oh, I think I know what I want in my setup. Instead of Damnation, I want Luminous Run, so I can have 2 running skills. For leveling up, it's pretty nice. That extra mobility is pretty nice when leveling new heroes, especially on outs. Maybe I should send the pet to sell. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. A freezer build. I'm wondering if I want every single version I make of this hero to be with freezing, or maybe freezing just for the crowd control version. Why do I keep pressing number 4? I guess I need to do it like this. Because I keep pressing number 4, expecting to do Luminous Run. Wait, waypoint first, waypoint first. Come on, come on, come on. And Tumet says, random question, what class would you say is best by itself? Not too minimal relic use. I feel like Dusk Mage does decent damage without relic. Dusk Mage and Realm Master and Sharpshooter can be very strong without the relic. On Forged, if you don't count the relic, you really need to avoid Barrage. But Barrage can be strong. But only a few skills. Only Furnace Blast maybe I would consider as a good barrage skill right now. On the melee side of things of the Forged, you've got super nice synergies with Rapid Strike, with Cyclone Mode, with Vortex Bomb. Even Fracking Strike can be very fun to make a build around. But yeah, Dusk Mage with Harmonic Form and the Celestial Gauntlets can be very strong, excluding the relic stuff. And so can be a Sharpshooter with targeted strikes, with Explosive Arrow, with Scatter Shot, with Tight Grouping. They're all good skills. Onslaught is not bad, but the range of Onslaught just kills the skill for me. Such a short range on Onslaught is just unacceptable for such a skill. It's a joke. And I'm not talking about the radius, I'm talking about how far away from you can shoot the Onslaught fields. It's just super funny. You have this bow, you shoot those arrows, and of course the arrows only fall over here. Instead of being able to shoot them there or there, you can only shoot them like here. in this circle here, or in this circle here roughly. And that's just, it's not fun. If that's how long the range of Onslaught is. With the Slammer Realm Master there's some good stuff with Pound and Spike Drive. With the Train build there's Flamethrower Car, super strong regardless of what relic. And yeah, Explosive Arrow definitely can hit anywhere on the screen, a very good skill. I like the damage of Explosive Arrow, it's fine, it doesn't need to change. Targeted Strikes also has good damage. Tight Grouping, I didn't think they should have nerfed it. They nerfed it with 20% or so to its damage. I didn't think it was overpowered to require a nerfing. Maybe it was strong in the early levels and that's why they felt they need to nerf it. But they should have just nerfed it on the first few levels, or and made it get more damage after you put points into it eventually. That could have been fine. Come on. Are we getting there? I think we're getting close. Yeah, Absolver, such a fun skill to use while leveling. Alright. Another Whitening Bower. I've been getting a lot of Whitening Bowers. Kamikaze says, what is the best build? What is the meta? One of the meta builds, I can tell you every single meta build, but one of the meta builds would be my Miasmic Train. The Miasmic Train on my builds website can be considered super easy mode pushing. It's the lazy mode pushing build. You should be able to, without much effort, reach the end of the game with that build on Ridiculous. So I made this build specifically for people who kept asking what is the meta. So I can tell them, check this build out. It's confirmed, it works. It has worked since before the game launched, and it still works even though they nerfed certain things. It still is a very good setup. It's a lazy mode playing. So yeah, Miasmic Train is your go-to build, I guess, if you want something that has been confirmed and works. In general, Flaming Destroyer and Electrode on any class can make a meta build if you tweak the skills the right way. But when it comes to Bane, Flamethrower Car is the strongest thing combined with Bane right now. Tumet says, at the moment I'm making a Realm Master with every relic to try out, so far Bane and Electro seem OP compared to the others, just starting on Flame. Okay, Flaming Destroyer is just as strong as Bane and Electrode, I can tell you this. Whether it's Blazing Pillar or Sword Smash, they're both good skills and very good synergy with with the Realm Master. And with the new set items, you can have some amazing builds with those. You were hoping for a meta build that makes you play. You can try my sharpshooter electrode builds. I've got 2 recent ones. So that's a total of 3. So if you check on my website my sharpshooter builds, you can try the electrified sharpshooter, and you can try the melee sharpshooter, the melee adventurer. The melee adventurer is very out of the box build, but I think it can be strong when they fix some things. Right now it's strong. It's strong, and it's definitely not a bad build, and it gives you a lot of survivability because I'm stacking certain sources of damage reduction together. But this build is kind of nerfed by a bug that makes basic attack affixes. Like, let me try and show you one. Basic attack damage. Affixes that say bonus damage to basic attacks. Not this one that says rifle basic attack, but bonus damage to basic attack that doesn't specify a weapon doesn't work. And some passives regarding bonus damage to basic attack also don't work. So that's why I say this build is kind of nerfed by bugs. But it will get fixed. Eventually it will get fixed. But the melee adventurer build is one of the most fun builds I've made and played in a long time. The sharpshooter melee mace basic attack build with the electrode. It's so fun. It is so fun. And another good build you can try is chaotic strikes. In fact, you might check. If you check my Stormcover Summoner and my electrified sharpshooter, I have added a way to level up the build with chaotic strikes. Basically, chaotic strikes on any hero, on any build is strong. Electrode chaotic strikes builds. So you can check my chaotic mayhem build on the Realm Master, or scroll down to the bottom of the Stormcover and to the bottom of the electrified sharpshooters to see how to level those as chaotic strike builds. Normally when I level up electrode builds, I actually level them as chaotic strike builds from very early on, and then I switch later to a different setup. Because chaotic strikes is just such a strong skill. It's amazing. And if you combine it with Egg of Mayhem and with the new items... Oh yeah, I found the new pet. Found a new pet. But yeah, chaotic strikes is definitely not skill. It's just so fun to play it. Timmy XXL, welcome Timmy, welcome to the Struck Club. Thank you very much for the follow. It is really appreciated. Let's see if I've missed any messages. But yeah, it definitely gets boring sometimes when the flamethrower car is doing all the work, and I can understand how you would want to try a build where you are doing stuff yourself instead of the train doing all the work. It's understandable. Some people want that lazy build where you've got the summon and the summon does the job. Others want something that would make them wanna dodge and do the damage themselves and position themselves and actually make a rotation. If you want to feel like you're doing all the job, try any Slammer build. Slammer builds are fun. Chaotic Mayhem Slammer build is definitely fun. You have Chaotic Strikes, you have Spike Drive, you have Pound, Busting Charge, Hammer Spin, etc. It can be fun. 1000-volt burst, by the way, is broken. It's doing, instead of 55% weapon damage, it does 550. Tier 3 1000-volt burst. So don't get too attached to it. Expect it to get nerfed. Expect it to get nerfed. But yeah, it does 10 times the damage it's supposed to do. Right now, it's strong. It melts bosses in seconds. A tier 3 1000-volt burst. It's just silly how strong it is. But we know that this is not intended, because it's doing 10 times the intended damage. But even when they nerf it with that extra, with the ancient ember boots, and doing 2000-volt bursts at once or 3, you would be able to do a ton of damage still. How many dropped there? 1. Damn it, stop dropping the quest items. There's one that I missed intentionally. I was planning on taking it on my way back. Okay, there we go. I can now go out of this map. Let's see here. And maybe over here and over here. And yeah, we can now go out of this map. I like this quest. I like that I'm not forced to finish this dungeon until the end. Just need to get those nuggets and that's it. Let's see. Now, Watcher's ticket. This is the type of questing I enjoy, when they're not making me go to the town after every quest. If only every quest was like this, where you're meeting the NPCs, instead of meeting the NPCs in the town, meeting them on the map, and then only after you're done with the final boss of the act, you'd actually go to the town to report in or whatever. And you use some sort of carrier pigeons to communicate with the NPCs, to eliminate the necessity of loading screens and going back to the hubs. But this game is designed in such a way to force people to go into the social hubs, so people can see each other. It's intentionally designed that way. They want us to go to the town more often, so we can see each other, so we can see each other's I don't know what. Maybe they want us to see each other's Vizier levels, maybe they want us to see each other's items. So you can say, oh, look at this high level, he has this item, I want that item too. I'm not sure what the reasoning is behind this, but they did say it. They want us to be in the hubs to restock on potions. They want us to go back to the hub. For whatever reason, whatever the explanation is why they want us to go back to the hub every now and then. I like how Chronicon did its quests. Chronicon didn't make me go back to the starting outpost until I'm done with the act. And that was for every act. I started, every single NPC I need to interact with throughout my quest is somewhere down the road. And at the end of each act I need to go back to the town to report, to get my reward, and to start the next act. It made a lot of sense the way they did it, and it was very fluid. Very fluid eliminating unnecessary loading times by going back into the town. Until I played Chronicon to see someone doing questing like that. In this way. I didn't realize how boring the questing in Torchlight 3 was. Well, I always realized it was boring, but I didn't realize how much more fun it could be. Other games like, for example, Grim Dawn and Titan Quest also do something similar, where you're constantly moving forward and forward with the campaign. But they still have times where you would have to go back to a certain outpost. Not just once every chapter. Let's go get Oakbeard. Come on. But yeah, Kamikaze, I've made one of every hero with every relic. So there's 20 archetypes, 20 archetypes between classes and subclasses, and I've made one of each. The Absolver Zealot Dusk Mage, the Dusk Mage Electrode, was so fun. Such a fun build. I'm not sure if it was the one where I had the Molten Reach. I think it was exactly the one where I had Molten Reach, where I tried the Molten Reach for the first time after they changed it, after the rework. And Molten Reach is my favorite item on Dusk Mage. Molten Reach is just such a good item. It's the one item I'm missing still on this class from the class items. On the Realm Master I'm missing Tenderizer, which I don't really care much for. On Dusk Mage, let's see. Let's check my Legendarium. 15 out of 16 items, the one I'm missing is the Molten Reach, which only drops on level 60 plus enemies. So unless the enemy is 60, I'm not going to be able to get it. But I spent a ton of time farming on my previous Dusk Mage, and I still couldn't get it. It's just that hard to get of an item. It's annoying. It's annoying when you can't get an item that you want so much, like the Molten Reach. And that's actually a good item. It's not like some shitty item, such as, for example, what would I classify as a shitty Dusk Mage item? Maybe Blastbutt. I mean, Blastbutt is not bad, but I won't classify it as OP item. Snaggletooth, I won't classify it as an OP item, but Molten Reach, I'll definitely classify it as something amazing. It doubles the DPS potential of Entropy for proc monster builds. And for example, a build like my Absolver Zealot really needs that item. It's great. See, the Panoptic Fist on the other hand is not gonna give you that much of an increase of the DPS. It gives you one Netherrim Netherlink, one Netherrim Warrior, and one Brood. It gives you 3 summons extra. 3 summons extra, 2 of which are... They're all melee. Let's say they're all melee. The Brute does some extra damage, yeah, it's okay, it's not bad damage. But if one of those was ranged, it would have been so much better. Oh, they've made those drop so often. Alright. They definitely fixed those pets dropping. The old new pets. The old new pets. Because those are still recently new. They're not as new as the Halloween pets. But yeah, they're still hard to get. Or at least used to be. Okay, we gotta go to Travel Point and talk to Yapper. And Terry redeemed to give Sky a petting 10 minutes ago. I can do it now. You still can't get that chest. Wow, Terry, unlucky, unlucky. Okay, we gave Sky the petting. He's on the other end of the bed. Like, right next to my desk is my bed on the right hand side. And on the very other end of the room, where the bed starts, that's where Sky is sleeping right now. So, he's a little bit far away for pettings. Okay, let's go to Lakeside Clearing and yeah. But yeah, if it weren't for the private test, server, where we had something called cheat NPC, the endgame cheater NPC. In the private test server, a public test server with the endgame cheater NPC, you could immediately reach level 46 after talking to that NPC. So at level 2, when you reach the level point for the first time, you just talk to this guy. He makes you level 46. And he completes Act 1, 2 and 3 for you. That's why I was able to do so many builds. Half of my builds before the game launched, from those 22 builds I had before the game launched, probably half of them, like 10 or 11 or 12, were made on the public test server. Where I could skip leveling. Soon, with the next big patch, they will fix it so we can play on the test server. There were some problems with the test server and that made them wanna hold off on the patches on the test server testing, because single players, offline players, people who play in single player, could lose their saves, and they decided until this is fixed to not give us the test server. But normally 1 or 2 weeks before a patch, they would give us access to the test server with separate saves, separate progression, separate forts, and we would go and test and report some bugs before a patch makes its way to the live server. This patch they just had to skip it for the reasons I mentioned. So maybe 2-3 weeks from now, maybe we can see the test server making a comeback before the next patch. I'm gonna test the Ice Golem. As I said, I wanna see how much damage this dude does. I'm gonna try and compare it to some of my other skills to see how much damage they do compared to the Golem. Terry the Tank still can get the I think it's called the Unstable War Arm. That's the gun he was talking about. Primax 69. Thank you very much, Primax 69. Welcome to the Struck Club and appreciate the follow. But yeah, this Unstable War Arm is such a fun cannon for the Forged. Speaking of Forged, I can't wait for them to rework it so I can go back to leveling 1. Okay, Golem, let's try. Should I send the pet away? Let's send the pet away so I'm sure every damage I see there is the Golem's damage. 23 is the aura. Oh, it still triggers Fighter Spirit. They haven't fixed it. It's still bugged. The Golem's chilling aura triggers Fighter Spirit. And it didn't trigger just Fighter Spirit. It used to trigger things like large boars. So basically anything that triggers on melee hit, it can trigger. 171, I think he critted. Let's try and teleport it. 366. Now let's see my damage from skills. Okay, I can try and make a golem build. Should we make a golem spamming build with the arc powered legs? Like Drain but with the golem. I wanna see it with harmonic form on. Let's try and get my harmonic form and then see how much damage he does when harmonic form is active. $490. And harmonic form is no longer active. So basically with the golem you've got a permanent 50% damage reduction as long as he's hitting something with his aura. Yeah, bugs will be bugs. Unless that's intended, but I highly doubt it's intended. And another thing I'm gonna show you with the next skill point. If I put 1 point into large bores and equip a pistol or a digitus, you're gonna see the golem proccing. He's gonna be proccing those things. So they still haven't fixed this. I thought it was fixed long ago, but it's been a while since I played with him, with the golem. That means it can be so strong if you use it to constantly generate energy. Because if it's triggering large bores, that means the relic energy generation while using basic attack from large bores will also get triggered. And if you stack it with Energizer, you don't even have to do basic attacks yourself. You can just use the golem, and it's gonna be constantly generating extra energy to do more golem attacks. The damage may not be that high. In fact, it's probably still gonna be shit damage, but it's worth testing. Just for the sake of it. But that fighter spirit proccing. Wait, they haven't changed the ice shield icon here. They changed the ice shield icon here, but not the one on the buff bar. So another bug we just saw. Yeah, Coldheart, there's so many things broken with Coldheart. I mean, that's something I don't care about. Honestly, whether this icon matches this one doesn't matter much to me. And this frost skin doesn't match this icon. So they just haven't updated those new icons to the buff bar. Come on. Blinky boy. It's taking a while to load. Okay, that's pretty long of a load. I'm gonna save this just so I can show you later with my next level the proccing from the golem. They're level 12, I'm 11, that's fine. We can do it like this. $461, that was not a crit, I think. That 461. And earlier he did 1800, by the way, without harmonic form. So maybe the damage of the golem has been fixed really to do something worth it. Maybe. Thing is, he only lasts for it says he lasts for 60 seconds, but I think he dies much sooner than 60 seconds. Let's see. I'm gonna check the timer. It's 44:59 when I activated it. 9:44:59. No, he's down. He's already down. Is he just dying because of taking damage? Because if he dies because of taking damage, they just need to increase his HP. He needs to be a bit more beefier. We don't have HP to minions as an affix on items. We don't have minion lifesteal affixes as well. We don't have minion attack speed affixes as well. I would love to see all those added. Minion HP, minion attack speed, minion lifesteal. Where they're only lifestealing for themselves, not for you, obviously. Might be overpowered on minion builds if they're lifestealing HP for you and for themselves. Like the Dryad Neckband. But that's some ideas for items, ideas for new items, minion based items. Legendary powers for the legendarium. Items that give your minions attack speed, frenzy buff, something that you can put on your skill bar, like the Lost Legion item, and it gives them frenzy. They get attack speed damage, but take additional damage. And another one that gives them lifesteal. Lifesteal, maybe either as a passive. Maybe chance to proc lifesteal, maybe 15% chance to lifesteal X HP or something like that. Or a permanent 2-3% lifesteal per hit, something like that. I mean, when it comes to minion builds, you need more affixes, not just minion damage. In games, to have good minion builds, you really need all sorts of things that make them stronger, not just damage. Attack speed, HP and lifesteal are obvious choices in games like this. Yeah, I think he's just dying. That's why he gets despawned so quickly. I'm gonna pay attention to his HP. If healing myself would heal the golem, it would be nice. Is this 17 damage, 55 damage I'm seeing, the damage the golem is taking? Interesting. And my level up XP keeps getting stuck at 1000. Like it hasn't moved. It's always 1000. All right, let's show you this bug. Let's show you this bug. Let's see if they fixed this one. So if they haven't fixed it, you're gonna see large boars proccing from my golem. And the thing is, the large boars actually procs off from me. See, do you see this? Those projectiles. That's large boars proccing without me using basic attacks. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to make a build centered around a glitch, around a bug. so I'm not gonna do it that way, but if you want to, you can have this build. This has been like this for a long time and it's still not fixed. It's been like this ever since they reworked the relics, ever since Coldheart exists in its current shape. as a subclass. That's actually one of the main reasons why I was avoiding playing Golem. First of all, the extra damage reduction. I didn't wanna make a build where I'm relying on that extra damage reduction, because it's not supposed to be there. And then large boards, obviously. Yeah, you can check it out now. Come on, proc it, proc it, proc it. He's a bit slow on the attacking end. It's actually not his attacks that proc it, but the chilling aura. Alright, let's keep moving. There's no Netherine Pylon here, so... I want the Ice Shield autocast item. I really want the Ice Shield autocast item from the new set. When your HP drops below 25%, autocasting Ice Shield. This would be such a strong build for any class to synergize Ice Shield with that item. Probably one of the best synergies. It's immediate 3 damages, 3 sources of damage ignored as soon as you hit 25% HP. Basically, you hit 25% HP and the next 3 times they hit you, you take 0 damage. It's amazing. The thing is, it's not gonna work against one-shots, because one-shots are gonna kill you before these triggers. It's gonna work if it's activated and then you take a one-shot. But yeah, one shot's just gonna kill you before this triggers. Wait, I think I need to go this way for a pylon. What else can I get? Cost reduction? No, there's no cost reduction for the golem. If only there was. Okay, there we go. Dark Spec says if minions despawn after some time, they should have unlimited HP. I think that's not a bad thing to put it. Not a bad way to do it. But many games have minions with both cooldown and HP, because with unlimited HP it could be it could be a bit overpowered. They could be like proper tanks. I mean, even Grimdown and Diablo and other games like that have some minions that are not immortal, but yet still have cooldowns. That's standard. I mean, it's not something that really bugs me. Minions being able to have both cooldown and HP. But I think if they have HP, it's much better if they don't have a despawn time. And just stay until they get killed. That's much more fun. So unlimited HP might be overpowered, but unlimited duration is not overpowered if they have HP, in my opinion. It would be nice if this golem was a permanent one that stays with you. Although this guy you can always resummon. The thing with this guy, as long as you have energy, you can just resummon it. It doesn't have a long cooldown or anything like that. You can just resummon it as soon as it gets killed, as long as you have that extra 50 energy. But yeah, the golem is fun. I was not even planning on playing with it, but I'm gonna take it to the max. I'm gonna take it to max level and see how it goes. I wanted to test it, see how much stronger it became, and basically what became stronger is the basic attacks of the golem, but the damage doesn't come from the basic attacks of the golem, it comes from reusing the skill to do that shockwave or whatever it's called, that slam, the slamming skill. Okay, I think right now what I need the most is I'm gonna get Energy Spike tier 2 and Light Spear tier 2 as my next levels. By the way, it's 9:56 PM, so I've got some time for maybe another 1 or 2 quests. We'll see how many more quests I can do before it's time to go. Tomorrow I'm most likely making some content for Godfall, so my stream most likely would again be in the evening, not in the afternoon. It depends whether I decide to make 1 or 2 videos for Godfall and how long it takes me to edit all of them. What's my next quest? General Grey. I think before meeting General Grey maybe I should go to the next dungeon. Or maybe I can just go straight to General Grey right now. What do you mean by no melee builds at all? I've already made a melee build, a few melee builds. No warriors at all? I mean, you have melee forged, you have melee realm master. You can make so many slammer realm master builds. You can make so many spin to win builds. You can make bunches of punches builds. You can make melee builds on the mage, melee builds on the ranger. I have a sharpshooter melee build, mace basic attack sharpshooter build, and it works. So yeah, that game is not everyone's cup of tea. But saying that there's no melee builds is a joke, because there's many different ways you can make a melee build in this game. In fact, you can make, as I said, a melee mage if you want to, and it's still gonna be viable. It can be a melee mage with the mace and electrode, the same way I made one on the sharpshooter, or you can make a melee mage with a staff, although that's not gonna be that strong of a build with staffing up, but you can make it if you want it. You can make a melee dual greatsword build with the flaming destroyer, and it's not gonna be a weak build. In fact, it's gonna be a very fun build to do. There are ways to get fun things out of the game.
See you next time.
I wanna see if I can trigger. Can I trigger Warge Boars with the Digitus? I should be able to. Yeah, it says Digitus as well, so it would work. But yeah, it's not everyone's favorite game. The Fazir is boring, I agree. That's why I don't spend too much time on the same hero. That's why I make my hero to level 60, I farm some items, then I make 1 or 2 builds, and then I move to the next hero because I don't like the current end game. Even before they launched the game, I said if you launch with just the Fazir, it's not gonna be enough. I knew that people would quit the game 2-3 weeks. The majority of people would quit the game 2-3 weeks after the launch, because they're gonna get bored, because it's just one very repetitive, boring endgame activity. Like every other game, rifting in Diablo gets boring after 1-2 weeks, maybe 3. The same happens with Path of Exile. Mapping, very boring, very repetitive, 1-3 weeks you get bored. Shattered Realms in Grimdown, if you do it too much on the same build, you're gonna get bored. That's why it's good to have variety. And yeah, this game has variety, but not endgame variety, build variety, class variety. So the weak link of this game is right now the end game. But yeah, in most games where I do end game activities equal to the rifting, it's boring. It's boring. It's repetitive. Whether it's Diablo, whether it's Path of Exile, whether it's Grimdown, whether it's Chronicon, whether it's Titan Quest, this type of mapping rifting system always gets boring because it always gets repetitive, and that's when I normally make new builds. I hope they add something new as an endgame activity, because in those games I mentioned you have options. You don't like the rifting, then you do Nemesis or Uber bosses or boss runs, or you do a survival mode like the Crucible in Grimdown, or you do bounties like in Diablo. This game needs some options like this, but it's a new game. You can't expect a new game to have as much endgame as games that have been developed and updated for the past 5, 6, 7 years with constant content updates. But there's definitely a lot of melee builds. What's my quest? Lake Gobdunk. You have 1500 hours in Grimdown. I'm not sure how much hours I've got in Grimdown, but yeah, I've got a lot of hours in Grimdown as well. Ever since the alpha, ever since the final boss was Creek, and the only end game in Grimdown was the Burrowitch, that secret zone in Burrowitch that's now part of the quest with the runes. I keep forgetting the name of that zone. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Grimdown, and what's boring for me in Grimdown is leveling new heroes, but it's definitely fun. Even without mods, Grimdown is fun. Yet I still prefer to play this game, because I've just played too much Grimdown, and it's the best ARPG for me. It's better than Path of Exile, but it just this game is different than Grimdown, and that's why I like it. And it just has more freedom. The skill system in this game is much more fun for me. Respecting this game is much more fun for me than in Grimdown. I only wish I could respect my subclasses so I don't have to re-level new heroes. But yeah, there's more freedom here. I don't have to put points into a certain skill because it's a requirement to another skill that I want. The same way you do it in Diablo 2 or Grimdown or Titan Quest. I like the freedom this game gives me. If I don't want a skill, I don't put points in it. It's just as simple as that. It's not you have to put 1 point into this skill because the next skill is right after it, and you won't be able to do it unless you get the prerequisite skill. We used to have such a system. This game had a Diablo 2 style skill tree, where you had to put points into one skill to unlock the next, to unlock the third, to unlock the fourth. They also had a system where you had to put a total amount of points into your relic skill number 1 to unlock the relic skill number 2, and it was not as fun. Freedom is good when it comes to build diversity and variety. And yeah, I mean, this game is not everyone's cup of tea, and that's understandable. When the game is trying to be unique, when the game is trying to not copy paste other games and do something differently, there's obviously gonna be people who think, okay, this game is not like game X, Y or Z, which I love, is doing things differently, I don't like it. Well, that's understandable. It's only to be expected. But it's very easy if they copy paste Torchlight 2 or Diablo 1 and 2, which is made which Max Schaefer, CEO of Factor Games, in charge of Torchlight 3. He's one of the people who made Diablo 1 and 2. He's also one of the people who made Torchlight 1 and 2. It's probably gonna be easy if he goes and tells his team, hey, copy paste what we did in Diablo 2 or what we did in Torchlight 1 and 2. But what's gonna be the fun? What's gonna be the progress if they're copy pasting something that they've already done? I know if I was a developer, I wouldn't like doing the exact same thing in every single game I do. I like as a developer, if I was a developer, I would want to be doing everything differently when I try a new title. So I could have some sort of different experience in my new title. I really love Torchlight 3, even though there's things that are bad in the game, things that I dislike. It's still a fun experience. I wish it was faster to level up outs though. And yeah, I've played Last Epoch and they lost, out of my 3 characters, 2 characters I've lost. But yeah, Last Epoch I've played and it's amazing. I love the crafting in Last Epoch. I hate the competitive mode. It's a no life competition. You don't have checkpoints. If you wanna do arena, you better be prepared for a long run, because you can't exit and continue where you left off. It's basically a no life competition. That's what it is. The arena mode in Last Epoch. I do like the Monolith of Fates. Before they reworked it. After they reworked it, I haven't tested it. I've only seen it in videos. Because I just don't want to go and level up a new hero and then this hero gets deleted. Weirdly enough, I had 3 heroes. Out of those 3 heroes, 2 disappeared. Without a trace. Without me doing anything on my end. Just the patch resulted in some save corruption or whatever. And it's weird because the game forces you to log in. And if I'm logging in, why is my data not saved on the server where I log in? It makes no sense for a game like Last Epoch to make you log in with account and everything, and then to not save your your character data on the cloud. So I just don't want to risk losing character data until they implement some cloud saving, where if something's lost they can recover it. But in general, I think Last Epoch wants to be too much like Path of Exile, and they have confirmed that there's gonna be serious death penalties when you die, just like in Path of Exile. And I'll give it a try when it launches, when it's ready, when I have free time. But yeah, I have the game. The good thing is I have the game, so I hope they fix optimizing the game. People with 2080 titanium, even after they optimized Last Epoch, on my stream there were people with 2080, 1080 titanium, 2080 titanium reporting bad frame rates in Last Epoch, even after the optimization patch a few months ago. And also it has such a bad windowed mode where I have to not see the bottom 2-3-5% of the screen I have to not see. So let's see where my cursor is. This part of the screen that is covered by my cursor, I can't see it on my screen because the way the windowed mode works with the border. That's normally a problem I have with Unity games. I'm not sure what's wrong with Unity games and this windowed mode. But it's a good game. It's definitely a game I would probably recommend after it launches. After it implements cloud saving. I'm not sure who spoke about crafting. Mike, who did you hear about speaking about crafting? The fort has always been a part of Torchlight 3. The fort has always been a part of Torchlight 3, even when it was Torchlight Frontiers. I've played this game since April 2019. So I've played it since alpha. And there has not been anything about talking about crafting. They didn't say anything about crafting. I mean, yeah, there is crafting, and you could craft your relics before. That was the only crafting you could do. Relics used to be weapons you can craft and switch from one class to the next. But people didn't like this, and people said give me more skills, give me more skill trees. And they decided to just transfer the relics from weapons we can craft with materials into subclasses that you can choose as a mastery when you create your hero. This is how it is right now, and I'm not a fan of the permanent choice, but I'm really a fan of how they reworked all the relic trees. They added much more skills, much more variety. In fact, they made them so strong that you can even make a relic only build with barely touching your class skills. And that's a fun part of the variety, those type of builds, to those who want them. But they never spoke about crafting items other than crafting relic weapons, because they used to be relic weapons that you could equip. But all the changes they have done since April 2019, let's say from all the changes, 90% of those changes were in the right direction, 10% were things that no one asked for, but we got anyways. Which make no sense in some cases even. So that's a good percentage in my opinion. Good rating in regards to good changes versus bad changes. Like changing from Torchlight from Tears to Torchlight 3 was a big, huge, good move. Getting rid of the horizontal, of the vertical progression and replacing it for horizontal act-based progression. Jolly says, hi bro, is this game worth buying at the moment? I read a bunch of reviews on Steam and it seems as if the community is very divided. Yes, the community is divided and for a good reason. It's just not everyone's cup of tea. If you tell me what you want in a game, I can tell you what this game can offer you. If you want a lot of endgame variety, maybe wait a bit, maybe wait until next year. If you want a lot of build diversity, this game has it. So, if you want to play a lot of different builds and not spend more than a week on a single build before you get bored, this game can offer you over 200 different builds you can make with its current build diversity. Especially now that they added new legendary items with the previous patch. So that's like over 200 builds I can think of. There's probably more than that. Across classes, subclasses and legendary items and their powers. Certain things are broken, certain affixes, certain tier bonuses of skills and passives are broken. But it's much better than, for example, when WoW's launched. There's a decent amount of balancing. And there's only two things that I would call weak links, which is the ranged skill tree of the Forged hero, which is currently reworked. They've confirmed Forged is getting a rework. And the relic I'm playing right now is another thing that's kind of underpowered, and the Coldheart. But it still has few good skills. So this is a good skill, this is a good, not so good but okay skill, this is an amazing skill with a broken tier 3 bonus, and this is a good skill. And this is on every relic, so this doesn't count. This is kind of very underwhelming because it requires this to trigger, and this can only trigger every up to 35 seconds when maxed out. This is very underwhelming damage wise. It used to be very strong, they nerfed it before the relic rework, and with the relic rework it was pretty underwhelming, and this one is super underwhelming, super underwhelming. It used to give us ice damage, now it just gives chill and chill. If it gave freeze it would have been better, if the 2% was chance to freeze, would have been much better. So this, I hope they rework it. But yeah, overall, this game's strongest thing is the build diversity, the weakest thing is the endgame diversity or lack of such. Yes, they need endgame, but not every game launches with as many endgame activities. And Jolly tipped me for 15 bucks. Thank you very much, Jolly, for the tip. Really appreciate it. And right in the feels, very close to the end of my stream. Really made my day, man. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And yeah, feel free to add me on Discord or ask more questions even if I'm offline. You can even check my YouTube channel for some videos. If you're wondering, and on my website there's some builds and other things. I've got a lot of stuff about this game. But yeah, this game needs endgame. I did say it's gonna be a bad move if they launch with just the Fazier. I did say it even before the Fazier was added. They gave me and a few other content creators early access to certain features to test them. And the Fazier was one of those features. They gave us first of all, they gathered like a bunch of us, like 15 people, to show us a concept, proof of concept, screenshots, videos and stuff. Then eventually they let us even test it when it was ready. And my main concern was this is not gonna be enough on launch, and that they would need more than this. And yeah, as predicted, it got pretty boring pretty quickly, even to me. I don't really enjoy doing the Fazier dungeon as the only endgame activity. They even nerfed the Mapworks drops, and now they added items that only drop to the Fazier dungeon, which is understandable. Every game does it. Every game does certain types of wood that only drop in certain types of content. I can disagree with this. This is something that it's not something new. It's not something I'm seeing for the first time. It's existed for the past few decades in games. But yeah, I really would like to see more endgame. I would like to see something like the Crucible in Grim Dawn. I would like to see something like the Nemesis system in Grim Dawn. Uber bosses. I would like to see the enemies in the open zones in the map scaling. So if I finish the story and I go back to Lake Gobdunk, I want the enemies to be level 50 if I'm level 50. In fact, make them your level +1 or your level +2. So yeah, I like if I'm level 60 to see enemies that are level 60, maybe plus extra stats. Something like that. That would be pretty nice. And add some random spawns where you can get Uber bosses. Stronger versions of White Woad, stronger versions of Sadista, etc. That can spawn in the open. The same way Nemesis in Grim Dawn work. And make us go and look for them and hunt them. Maybe add something like the bounties in Diablo to make us go back to those zones. Reuse those zones. Because why not? Why not? So they're already working on new content. I don't know what new content, but we know they're working on some. But again, development takes time. They can just wave the magic stick and boom, you've got new content. Even if you give them money, even if they hire new people with that money, it would still take those people time to make changes to the game. Wolsen is a good example of how money doesn't mean content, because it takes time to develop stuff. They made a lot of money, Wolsen Studio made a lot of money from their game, but yeah, they still are taking their time making the content ready. Whether it's gonna be good, I doubt it, but I will still give it one last chance when they release the first Chronicle in Wolsen. But this game launched in a much better state than Wolsen. That's all I can say, at least. From the bad launches, this is one of the good ones this year. Because there was a lot of stuff. And in fact, most of the bad reviews on Steam that make up the score are from fanboys and from people who did early access. But there's a lot of legit bad reviews for people with legit reasons to not like the game on Steam. And I understand them. I understand there's a lot of things that people might expect in a game. Whether it's reasonable to expect this game to have as much content as Diablo 3 and Grim Dawn and Path of Exile is another story. I definitely don't think it's reasonable to compare this game to those other games, unless you compare it to vanilla day one, zero day launch. Compare this game to Grim Dawn when it first launched. Compare it to Path of Exile when it first launched. Compare it to Diablo 3 when it first launched with the auction house for real money. That's what you need to compare the game with. Because again, developers are humans. They can't just make content out of nowhere. So far, they've been very good with the updates. I've been following this game again since April 2019, and they've been listening to the community a lot about all sorts of things. They reworked the skill system multiple times. They reworked the relic system multiple times. All of that based on player feedback, based on us saying, okay, we don't like this, maybe change it in this way, that way. One thing is for sure, the developers want people to enjoy their game, and they're doing their best to make us enjoy it. Even though I don't agree with some of the decisions they've made regarding certain things, like XP, leveling, etc. As recent changes. Come on, come on. My damage is very bad for this boss fight. There's something wrong with this skill, but okay. Okay. Thankfully I would be able to complete this boss fight before I end my stream today. After this boss fight I'm probably gonna have to end because it's 10:22 PM. But let's finish the boss fight, halfway there. Almost done with it. But even saying that it's 2020 and they knew what games are out there, it's just not reasonable for gamers to expect new games to have as much content as old games. Because that would require for those games to stay in development for years. For 3, 4, 5 years. And no one has this much money. It's just not reasonable to expect a developer to stay in development for 3, 4, 5 years just so they can bring so much content, especially a smaller studio. I mean, okay, if it's Blizzard, with their number of developers and their budget, they can probably make a game that on day one would have 3, 4, 5 different types of activities you can do as endgame. But Echtra is not Blizzard. Some of them used to work for Blizzard, sure, but they're not Blizzard, and they don't have the budget Blizzard does, and they just can't afford to be in development for so long and deplete so much funds. I think one endgame activity is not reasonable, but 2 endgame activities reasonable. That's why I think Last Epoch has a decent amount of endgame. Even if it launches right now. Last Epoch has the monolith, it has the arena and some upcoming new other things that they're working on, which might even be ready soon. But Vastipo has also spent a lot of time in alpha, the same way this game did, in alpha and beta, in early access. Thankfully, early access really helps developers keep development going and keep getting funds. This doesn't feel like playing on normal, this feels like playing on ridiculous, because my damage is super underpowered for my level. What's my weapon? Level 14 weapon. On a level 15 boss, and yet it felt so weak. Thankfully I killed her, but took a while. Took a while. Okay, I guess that's gonna be it for today. 10:25 p.m. here. I'm quickly gonna go and turn in the quest. There's gonna be more tomorrow, but tomorrow I'm also planning on making at least one video for Godfall for the end game. Maybe I'm gonna make 2 videos because there was some new stuff released today. I might wanna talk about this too. So yeah, thanks Truckwup. Thanks from me to everyone that's on Twitch and on YouTube for watching my content and for being on my stream. Keep it cool until next time, and goodbye. And oh, Jolly, before goodbye, let's answer your question. Is the game well optimized? Well, I'm running on 1060 6GB video card with 16 GB of RAM, playing on 1080p, 60 Hz monitor, and I have AMD 3700X. And I'm running it fine, I'm streaming at the same time, and I've got my browser at the same time, and the game seems to be okay optimized on PC. Okay optimized on PC, so let me just check my task manager. The game currently is using from my GPU roughly around 57% of my 1066 GB video card, which is pretty decent. I'm playing on everything to the max in this game, and it's using 8.4% of my CPU and around a gigabyte of RAM in idle in the town. But only the RAM and CPU probably goes up when I'm in a different place. Overall, I can run the game very smoothly with my specs. So with your specs, you shouldn't have a problem on 1440. I'm not sure how much your FPS would be, but with 2080 Super, you should run it all max 144 FPS. But maybe it's better to ask someone else who has such high refresh rate and specs to see, maybe in the official Discord. So again, thanks everyone for watching, keep it cool from me, and goodbye.